Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Elden Ring Mage walkthrough. Uh, since the last episode, I just want to walk you through what I did, off camera, or off stream as it were. Uh, I'll show you first our attributes. We got Vigor to 20, Mind to 20, Int to 20. We took Endurance to 11. That's completely optional, I just did it because I wanted to buy the Knight set from the Round Table Hold for the drip. And then we took Strength to 12. And Strength to 12 lets us equip the Beast Crest Heater's Shield, and it'll also let us have a longbow, which I also purchased from Round Table Hold. If you need arrows for the longbow, you can purchase those from the merchant by Fort Height West. So just to show that really quickly on the map here, this merchant here will sell you arrows. And I did that because we're going to be doing our first Catacombs probably this session, so there are pillars that shoot fire, and you can hit them with an arrow at a distance to lower them, and that way you don't have to do like the running stuff that they want you to do. So that's why we got ourselves a longbow. So from here, there are a couple of things I want to do now, some more gearing up stuff. We're going to go to the War Master's Shack. Now, a word of warning about the War Master's Shack. It can be invaded by an enemy at night called a bell-bearing hunter, and so you always want to make sure if it's nighttime, you can kind of peek around the corner, and if Bernal is not there, just go back and rest to the Grace and make it morning.
There you are.
So what we're going to do here is buy Ash of War, no skill.
Well,
And the reason we're doing that is we want, like, if you look at my character right now, they have parry as the Ash of War that will happen if I hit L2, and I don't actually want that. I want to be able to, when I get a weapon on my right hand, to have the shield equipped and still use the right hand weapon art easily. So we're just going to go to Ashes of War, go over to the Beast Crest Heater Shield, and put no skill on it. And it was as easy as that. And now we have that ready. The Beast Crest Heater Shield has 100% physical damage negation, so it's just... you're not going to take any damage from physical as long as you have the stamina. It costs stamina when you get hit, so as long as you can absorb that, it'll be good. So the other thing we're going to do is we're now going to go back to Sorcerer's Sellia. And in addition to, doing the Linne's Rise ball farm, which I showed at the end of the previous session, to gain levels, I also just got us a little bit of disposable income.
There you are. Shall we commence the...
So I'm going to buy Carrion Slicer, because this thing absolutely shreds, especially with... we're about to go get a staff for ourselves that is really, really nice. So... And really, really scales well with intelligence, and that means Carrion Slicer will actually outperform any our short sword or any lame weapon we have right now until we get a better one. So now what we're going to do is Rest of the Grace. Remember, we got a memory slot. I also bought the memory stone that was available at Round Table Hold, although there's no urgency on that because we just got a third one. I'm not even using it yet, but I did go ahead and get that. It will allow me to equip the spell that we're going to get in just a second along with the new staff. We're about to get Meteorite staff and Rock Sling from Caelid. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to cover was the Flask of Wonders Physic. So we don't really have any great options here. We have something that will restore half of our HP, so we could just use it as an extra heal. And we could temporarily boost our stamina, but we'll get better options later. But right now we don't really have any mage-friendly options. And to show you what I did, I bound it to the down arrow, and then when we ultimately get our lantern, which hangs off your belt and gives you light so that you don't have to have a torch equipped, I like to put that on up arrow. Alright. Now before we go to Caelid, I wanted to close out something here. In the Summonwater Village, we killed the Mariner, but there was one last piece of loot to get. There's a nice talisman here. So from the Grace, just run through the water, and you just want to run all the way all the way to the back here till you see the turtles. And now we get, we have to use a Stonesword key here. See lots of turtles, all guarding their turtle talisman. And we're going to go ahead and equip that. We don't have any other great options. Okay, so from here, we're going to go to Agheel Lake South. And there is an ash in this water. It is guarded by crabs, but we can just shoot it with a pebble. That gets you Ash of War Unsheathed, and we don't even have to spawn the crabs, so we're smart enough to stay away. Alright, so next, where we're going is to these ruins, Dragonburnt Ruins. Before we go there, real quick, we're going to talk to someone under this bridge. And this is Yura.
Ah, you must be the new Tarnished. You do well to steer clear of Agheel Lake, fledgling. A dragon, and it's as fearsome as it is majestic, so unless you're mad or wish to be burned alive, stay clear of the lake. Don't be a fool. Turn back before it's too late. Don't.
Alright, so he's let us know there's a dragon in the lake. And the dragon will spawn, like, up around here, so as long as we stay back here in these Dragonburnt ruins, we'll be fine. We're going to bring out our skellies. Now there's a section here that you have to get into by jumping on Torrent like I just did. This gets us the Twinblade, which is really fun. We have a lot of tank guys out here. Let's see, what are they doing? None of them get to us. Alright, and then over here is the trap, but we don't want to trigger it yet. And then in addition, in this little tower, there's a rat. Alright, so we got the Stonesword key. And now we're good to trigger this trap. You can hear them all going, Agheel, Agheel. This is an awkward angle. Oh yeah, there are rats down here to worry about. Here I'm showing you guard countering. So I just hold down L1, wait for them to hit the shield, and then I hit an R2. going to touch this and we're going to be transported to Caelid. Now when this happens, when you get stuck in a trap like this, you can't just teleport to another grace. You have to get to a grace and rest, and that clears the trap status. So once we get over here, we're going to haul ourselves to a grace, and we're going to end up in a Sellia crystal tunnel. And the minute you come out, you want to run, run, run. Run, run, run. Down this way. Past everything. Fall down this ladder. Touch the grace, and then you're okay. Now, an important thing to note about this Sellia Crystal Tunnel is it has Somber 3s and 4s farmable. So you can actually go back up the ladder and just hit these guys that are here. Just basically being very careful. So this is basically an option for farming if you end up wanting to try to get the 3s and 4s. So we're going to head out this way. Oh, and just to show you where we are on the map. Now we're headed in the southwesterly direction. Now you see this trail, this green trail. This is an invisible ash. And what we want to do, I found Glintstone Arc is effective because you don't have to aim. So it's kind of annoying. You have to just kind of wait for the thing. And then fire off your spell. Oh, I need to back up more. Just to show arc fires like that. So to give yourself some time because there's a little bit of cast time to it. And that gives you Poison Armament incantation. Oh, now in addition, there was a tunnel you can go down. So this is where we came out, from the Sellia Crystal Tunnel, but there's another path we can go down to get a smithing, Somber Smithing 5. Oh yeah, and you want to avoid those. Don't be an idiot like I just was. So here. wanna, those things blow up, the glowing, when you see those piles of glowing balls, if you get close to them, they blow up. So don't let this thing get you and just run away. And that'll get you a Somber Smithing Stone 5. So no, we're not going to linger in this super dangerous place. We're just going to get our goodies and get out. So where we're going here, it's safe for Torrent to be walking on this rot, but not you. So just be aware of that. So you want to summon up skeletons, let them occupy everyone. Oh, I forgot to get mana. It's just sick. Oh, we don't mean to be meant to be using Pebble. And you want to be very careful about getting poisoned, because if you get poisoned, we don't have any way to deal with it. If you want to, you can just try to run. It's if you die, you just respawn right back here, so it's really not that big a deal. Mana needed. Oh. So we are on borrowed time now because we can't clear that poison. Man, we really did like summon literally everyone. It's pretty funny. Alright. Well, we are going to die now. That's fine. That gets us Rock Sling. We'll just die quickly. Then you want to pick the stake. We don't really care about runes because, you know, if we lose runes, it's like, you know, I had 6k runes, that's like, you know, 1 minute of ball farm. So, and it's good to show you what happens when you die anyway. So your runes are left on the ground and you need to run back. And all you have to do is hit triangle over them. Where are they? Are they down there? Oh yeah. Did I get them? I did. Okay. And again, we're basically dead. We're gonna run over here and pick up an outfit. And then just keep going. You can see it up there. Just want to get in here. And that's the Meteorite staff. So now we have a good staff. And now we just want to get out. Which is kind of hard to do because we're going to be trapped in combat with everything. So the minute you're able to... Okay, now we're good. I'm just going to quickly get out, go back to roundtable hold, and then talk about what we just got. So we got a Meteorite staff, and what makes this staff really wild is that you can't upgrade it, but it starts with S tier scaling in intelligence. So it's just fantastic right off the bat. Like, you put points in intelligence, and the staff scales, you know, tremendously. In addition, it boosts gravity sorcery by a substantial amount. And the spell that we were given, Rock Sling, this is like a big boss hitter. He summons 3 giant rocks that are then hurled, uh, slung, if you were, as it were, at the enemy, and so it's boosted by that spell, or sorry, by that staff as well. So we're gonna put that in our 4th slot that we bought, and now we are just in really, really good shape, and we're ready to actually start taking on some enemies. So with all of that prep done, we can now go back to the Church of Ellie, and we're going to do our first cave. So we're going to head north. And literally straight north, there's this cave right here. The Groveside cave. It's a really quick little cavern. It's got a Beastman boss at the end of it. A reminder, if you want to play co-op, you activate this, and then that means that summoning pool's eligible. You can see it's really, really dark in here, so got our torch on for light. You can see this just cleans up. Even the heaviest wolf was just taken out. And here there should be, I think it's a cracked pot. There are lots of little crafting materials to pick up in caves too. And then this moss. Now typically with a boss in a cave or catacombs, you will have the option to summon. So we could show that. Carrion Slicer tends to be really effective for shredding bosses, and of course the Rock Sling spell we just got would be great for big enemies. So we've got lots of mana, so I'm just going to go ahead and heal back up, and then we're going to bring out our skeletons to show you how summoning works in a boss fight. Carrion Slicer, which will just completely wreck the boss. I can see the Flamedrake Talisman. And the Flamedrake Talisman protects you from fire damage. Basically reduces a little bit the amount of damage you take from fire. Now when you see one of these columns here like this, that's a teleporter back to the entrance, which we're going to do. It puts you right by the Grace, so you can just rest to refresh everything. All your flasks. And now we're going to go do a Catacombs. You saw Carrion Slicer just does a phenomenal amount of damage. It's a great boss shredding. It's fast and it's super cheap. It costs almost no mana. I think it's like 4 FP or something. Just to show where we are on the map. So this is Stormfoot Catacombs. Catacombs usually have, like, the bulk of them are either skeletons, like undead, or imps. This catacomb is going to be imps. So imps like to leap out at you and they do blood loss, bleed on you. The single most effective strategy I found for dealing with imps is to just guard counter. So you basically just let them come at you, bounce off your shield, and they have no poise, so you hit them with one guard counter and then they're staggered. So we're just going to show that here. So even though it looks like there's one here, there's another one that's going to leap out if we give them the chance. But we can still take out, well, got the thing in the way. There we go. But now when I come out, watch. Let's see. But look how that, just one single guard counter, and he told him. And I use my sword for that, right, to get the critical hit in. So next we're going to go down here, re-equip our staff. There's a, this is the boss room. So every catacomb has a closed off boss room that you can't get to until you find a lever deeper inside the catacombs. They just all work that way. So once you find the lever, you then come back to the beginning, and it's a kindness basically, right? Because they put the boss right by the entrance grace. So as long as you get to the lever, there's a guy up there. And then there's a guy down below. Oh, he's upstairs. I forgot. He'll come down probably though. It's nice having ranged options. So with them dead. There's one. Trying to remember if there's one more over here. No, we're okay. There's one more on the wall in here, I remember. But I think he doesn't actually come off, like, we can just hit him right there. Now, here what you're going to want to do, now he dropped his, dropped something. So what you're going to want to do now is equip your bow. Oh, I don't have high enough dex. Oh, okay. We'll have to get higher decks. So that means we're going to have to run, so I'll show you that. So you just kind of sprint, and then get over here. And there's another fire, so watch out for that. So if you whack it with a sword, that works just as well. It just involves having to get up to it. So we can run, get behind it, and then you can just hit it. This gets you Prattling Pate hello. Pretty goofy. See, people use those to communicate and like go up and stuff. Oh, so. Oh, actually, it says I'm unable to use it effectively, but I don't really care about damage. Let's see if it will still shoot the shot. If it will, let's, so what you want to do is two-hand it, hit L1, hold down R1, let go, and it'll fire. See if that was good enough to work. It was. Cool. Okay. Didn't even need the strength for that. So the way up is here, to the lever is there, but we've got some enemies to take care of here. One over here. And we've got one up down there and one up here. So we'll take the one up top first because the other one doesn't aggro. Oh, need mana. You can see how getting a good start by like just getting a powerful weapon and a few levels using the ball rune farm is great, right? Now sometimes with these things there will be puzzles that involve you standing on them and going up. Yep, since they rise up and down, right? You can use them to like reach high places, the pillars. Now there's going to be a guy literally right here. You can see that red bar, it shows blood loss buildup. If it fills up, I would take a bunch of damage. While you're doing a critical hit, like the other guy can be like attacking us and we won't get hurt. So it doesn't punish you for being in an animation. And then pick up the Wandering Noble Ashes right here. Which I forgot to do, I walked right by them, so I just spliced this in so you can see that these were the Wandering Noble Ashes, and then we continue on. The glove warts are used to upgrade our Spirit Ashes. As I mentioned, that's Roderica who will do that for us, and we have to bring something back to her from Stormvale Castle, so it'll be a while before we actually do any upgrading. Our lever. Now when you see the message somewhere a heavy door has opened, that's telling you the boss door is open, you actually can't cast spells or take actions while that message is up, and there's no visible sign that you were supposed to hit something to dismiss that message. So just remember that. If that message is up, immediately hit X to dismiss it. That's true of all of the messages, like Summoning Pool is now, you know, active, etc. If you needed to, like if you took a bunch of damage, you can go back to the Grace and rest now. This door will stay open. So we have 2 mana potions. I think we have enough FP to bring out the our guys. We're gonna get Carrion Slicer ready. Mana. I got greedy, trying to just get the last hit in. I can see the Noble Sorcerer Ashes. The thing that I love about the skeletons is they just keep getting back up over and over again, which is really good when you have weak summons at the start like this. So where the summons die easily, it's just good to have something that will get back up because it effectively makes them more robust. Okay, so now we can return to the entrance. And then from here, what we're going to do is go to the Seaside Ruins, Grace. Actually, let's see if we can take on. There's a Runebear over here to the right. Let's see if we can take him on. I believe in us. So if you go up here, there's something very mysterious. Because you get a summon sign, which makes no sense because look at this, just looks like a helpless enemy. But we'll show you what happens. Now watch this. Oh my god, he turned into a giant bear. These guys can be pretty brutal. Get his stamina back. He tries to bear hug you. And that gets you a Larval Tear. So you can put this fight off for a long, long time. A Larval Tear is used to respec. We're not going to have the capability to respec for a really, really long time. So you just don't need to, like, sweat that. But I wanted to knock that fight out, but there's just no urgency to it at all. So this is back where, if you remember where Yura was. Just gonna kind of head past him. Where's that Grace? There it is. So from here, there's a spirit spring. You can see it right there. So use that to get down. And there's this guy here that has an Ash of War that has magic affinity, which means we can put it on our short sword, and that'll make it scale with int. So it'll be a little better than what it scales with now. This guy has a move he'll do where he tries to draw you in. Oh no, hopefully we'll see him cast it. That. So if it gets you, it'll suck you into him and then he tries to hit you with his sword. So when he dies, you get Ash of War, Gravitas. And this is pretty neat. If we go north here, you can see back into the original Cave of Knowledge place where we started the game. And up here there is the Haligdrake Talisman. Just to show where we are on the map. It's kind of this beach thing and then we snuck into the cave. Now, the next thing we're going to do is go back to, trying to think where the fastest way to do it is. We'll go to Agheel Lake North. We're going to take on the caravan of enemies that we saw when we were back by Waypoint Ruins. There was a caravan hiking up the road. So we're going to take them on. Oh, I will put that Ash of War on my sword at some point here, but it's not super urgent. Oh, we can pick that up. So the caravan comes up this road here. It's being pulled by two giants. The way you take down giants is you just do charged attacks or heavy anything that hits you know, really hard on their legs, and then I'll knock them down, and then you can get a critical hit on them. Sometimes it's on their eyes, and sometimes it's on their stomachs. So we basically just, you know, can come up here and just like whack a leg, and then they'll stop. And now our goal is to just, oh yeah, and this guy's pretty lethal. Although with how hard we hit, it won't be much of a problem. So you can see, we've made a lot of enemies mad. But we got over to the ruins so we can summon our guys. This is the thing I like to do, is lure the enemies. Lure the enemies over here. Kind of fun to just wreck all these guys. You can see the skeletons blinking. That's a warning that I've moved out of their allowed range. But you have some leeway. They'll stay active for a little while before vanishing. Good long while. So you can't get the loot while these guys are moving, so we have to stop them again. And you don't even have to kill them, since our goal is just to get the Greataxe in here. Now, from here, we can go back to Agheel Lake North. We'll fix the ashes on our sword. And now we're going to take on a dragon. Just to show this, you can put... Because this has magic affinity, that gives it scaling and intelligence. So now, even though we're not, you know, even if we don't use the Ash of War... But I mean, we can if we want to, because we put no skill on the shield, so that's what it looks like. All right, so for the dragon, we're gonna slap his head with Rock Sling. If you die to this dragon, you can go talk to Yura and he'll call you a bloody halfwit, which is pretty hilarious. So I highly recommend, if you don't manage to kill the dragon, like go over and talk to him, because it's a pretty hilarious. You can also, if you die and you end up at the stake of Marika that you're allowed to respawn at, after you talk to him about it and he calls you a halfwit, his summon sign will appear there and you can actually bring him out to help fight. However, bringing an NPC or player cooperator to a fight buffs the health of the enemy by a huge amount, so I do not recommend you do it. Especially for dragons, they fly all over the place. Yura is completely ineffective, so it's just a complete waste. Alright, so now we want to just Rock Sling his head. And if you hit him hard enough, this will knock him down. So, you want to get mana. So this is a strafing fire. So you just kind of move to the right or left. He also has a fire that will be on one side. Knocked him down again. Mages have it so easy with dragons. melee or more on the struggle bus with that. So now that we killed it, we can go talk to Yura, who's just, you know, right over here. Because you see this message, it's like, hey, there's a new draconic power available. So you're like, hey, what's that? What's a draconic power? And he'll tell you. Let's see. He's down here, actually. Faster to just warp.
Felling that dragon, and as such, there's something you might like to know. The heart you brought back. It's used in dragon communion if you should find yourself overcome by hunger for the heart, yearning for its strength, then seek the decrepit church on the little island off the western coast. You must not forget, though, those who partake in dragon communion will one day shed their humanity, their hunger for dragon. Their yearning only worsens until the floodgates burst, unleashing eternal torment, the strength of a mighty dragon. Magnificent. It's no surprise that dragon communion is ruinous. You must not forget those who play a hunger for dragon until the floodgates, the strength. It's no surprise that...
Alright, and with that, we're going to go back to Agheel Lake North. So we're going to make it nightfall, and we're going to take on this Knight's Horseman boss. And he is patrolling that bridge. And this could be a very tough fight early on, so if you want to try to skip it, that's fine. You can always just come back much later. It's not going anywhere, and it's completely optional. You can come back with more levels, and we get better equipment. Oh, I quit the sword thinking that I was going to get him staggered. There we go. Oh, I forgot to get the sword equipped. Where you going, buddy? That gets you the Ash of War repeating thrust. Alright, and that's where we're going to actually stop for this session. We will continue to do more of Limgrave in our next video. Until then, see you next time.